Hello everyone. Today in this video we will discuss very briefly about nanoelectronics and also about carbon nanotubes which has its main use in the domain of nanoelectronics. Before going into the topic, let us first know what is nanotechnology. Nanotechnology by definition is the understanding and control of matter at the nanoscale, that is at dimensions between approximately 1 and 100 nanometer, where unique phenomena enable novel applications. We know that nanotechnology is a branch that has its application in almost every field: physics, chemistry, biology, material sciences and everywhere. Matter, when it comes to nano level, exhibit different properties. Matters such as gases, liquids, solids, etc. can exhibit unusual physical, chemical and biological properties at the nanoscale. Some materials might be stronger, some may have different properties like electrical, chemical, optical properties, etc. Nanotechnology is actually helping us to considerably improve and revolutionize many technology and industrial sectors. Now, what is this nanoscale, or how much is the nanoscale? Nanoscale is actually hard to imagine. When we compare an earth and a football is about 10 million times smaller than an earth. When we compare a football and a fullerene, we can see that a fullerene, we know it's an allotrope of carbon. Fullerene is 1 billion times smaller than a football. So nanoscale is actually 1 billionth of a meter. Next, as I've told, nanotechnology has its application in a wide variety of fields. Some of them are energy storage, defense and security, metallurgy and materials, electronics, optical energy and communication, biomedical and drug delivery, agriculture and food, cosmetics and paints, biotechnology, and textile industries. These are only a few applications. It has a wide range of applications. Next, we'll discuss the branches of nanotechnology. ഏതൊക്കെയാണ് നാനോടെക്നോളജിയുടെ ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് ബ്രാഞ്ചസ്? First one, we have the nanomaterials, for example, carbon nanotubes, which we'll be discussing later in this video. Then we have nanomedicine. Nanomedicine is actually the use of nanotechnology in the prevention and treatment of diseases. For example, nanotechnology is used in drug delivery purposes, then for cancer treatments, etc. Then we have nanoelectronics, molecular self-assembly, nanolithography, nanobiotechnology, nanophotonics, etc. So here, let's discuss in brief about nanoelectronics. So what is nanoelectronics? Nanoelectronics, as the name indicates, refers to the use of nanotechnology in electronic components. Nanotechnology in electronics increases the capabilities of electronic devices by reducing their weight and power consumption. For example, when we consider the discovery of transistor, the first transistor was built in 1947 and അതിൻ്റെ സൈസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് 1 centimeter മാത്രമായിരുന്നു. Today, the smallest available transistor is about 7 nanometers long. അതായത് 1.4 million times smaller ആണ് when compared to the first transistor that was discovered. So, when the size of the transistor becomes smaller, we can incorporate a large number of transistors onto a single chip, by which we can increase the performance of the device. Then another area where nanoelectronics has its main use is in the memory storage. For example, in quantum computing, we have heard of quantum computers and so on. Then nanoelectronics examines the electronic and magnetic properties of materials at the nanoscale. The key areas of nanoelectronics are spin electronics, quantum electronics, material sciences, etc. So far we have discussed about nanotechnology and nanoelectronics. Now we will move on to carbon nanotubes, which has its main use in the domain of nanoelectronics. So what are carbon nanotubes? Carbon nanotubes are cylindrical molecules that consist of rolled up sheets of single layer carbon atoms, that is graphene. We know about carbon. Carbon has different allotropes like graphene, graphite, fullerene, etc. This carbon nanotubes is one of the highly researched nanomaterials because of their excellent mechanical, electrical and thermal properties. They have diameters reading more than 100 nanometer and their length can reach several micrometers and even millimeters long. According to the latest discovery, carbon nanotubes of about 7 centimeter length have been discovered so far. So here we can see how graphene sheets are rolled up to form carbon nanotubes. It's very clear from this video how graphene is rolled up to form carbon nanotubes. Next, we will move on to the types of carbon nanotubes. Carbon nanotubes are of two types, mainly single-walled carbon nanotubes and multi-walled carbon nanotubes. As the name indicates, one is single-walled and the other one is multi-walled. The single-walled carbon nanotube has again three types of structures in it: armchair, chiral and zigzag. And the multi-walled carbon nanotube is again divided into two types of models, that is a Russian doll model and parchment model. We are not going in detail to the types of models, we'll just know the names. That is, carbon nanotube is of two types, single walled and multi walled. Then under single walled we have armchair, chiral and zigzag. Under multi walled we have the Russian doll model and the parchment model. This is a figure showing the single walled and multi walled carbon nanotubes. The first one is single walled and the second one is multi walled. Next, we will move on to the synthesis of carbon nanotubes. There are mainly three types of method for the synthesis of carbon nanotubes. They are arc discharge method, laser ablation method, and the third one is chemical vapor deposition method. The first two methods are relatively easier when compared to the third one, but the quality of carbon nanotubes that we obtain from these two methods are low when compared to the chemical vapor deposition method. So, by using chemical vapor deposition or CVD, we can produce high quality carbon nanotubes. Now, what happens in the process of chemical vapor deposition or CVD? So, here we can see a glass tube, a gas inlet. So, through this gas inlet, we will pass a gas containing carbon. For example, here we have passed methane. And this gas, when it falls on the substrate containing liquid metal, the carbon nanotubes are formed. As a byproduct, we can also we will get hydrogen, which should be eliminated instantly to prevent explosion. So this is what that happens in chemical vapor deposition. We have only discussed it briefly, but this is a detailed process. Next, we will move on to the properties of carbon nanotubes. There are different properties for carbon nanotubes. They are mechanical, thermal, electronic, magnetic, superconducting, etc. Let's discuss one by one. First one is mechanical properties. The strength of carbon-carbon bonds give rise to extreme interest in the mechanical properties of carbon nanotubes. Theoretically, they should be stiffer and stronger than any known materials. We know that the strongest material that we are familiar to are Kevlar, but the mechanical properties of carbon nanotubes are more better when compared to Kevlar, stainless steel, etc. So here we have a table. In the column of materials, we have single-walled carbon nanotubes, armchair carbon nanotubes, zigzag single-walled carbon nanotubes, then multi-walled carbon nanotubes, stainless steel and Kevlar. Then we have the Young's modulus and tensile strength. So when we compare the Young's modulus and tensile strength of carbon nanotubes with Kevlar and stainless steel, we can see that the properties of carbon nanotubes are far better when we compare to the known stronger materials like stainless steel and Kevlar. For example, if we compare the Young's modulus, we can see that for Kevlar it is 0.06 to 0.18, and for single-walled carbon nanotubes it is approximately from 1 to 5 range. Then when we compare the tensile strength, we have the single-walled carbon nanotubes has 13 to 53 gigapascal. Then for Kevlar it is 3.6 to 3.8 gigapascal. So there itself we can see that carbon nanotubes in the case of mechanical properties are far better when we compare to stainless steel and Kevlar. Then we move on to the second property, that is thermal properties. All nanotubes are expected to be good conductors along the tube but good insulators laterally to the tube. It is predicted that carbon nanotubes would be able to transmit 6000 watts per meter per Kelvin at room temperature. So when we compare it with copper, which is well known for thermal conductivity, it can only transmit 385 watts per meter per Kelvin. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ തന്നെ നമുക്ക് കാർബൺ നാനോ ട്യൂബ്സിൻ്റെ യൂസും കാർബൺ നാനോ ട്യൂബ്സിൻ്റെ എന്താണ് യൂസ് എത്രമാത്രം ഉണ്ടെന്ന് നമുക്ക് അതിൽ നിന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ പറ്റും. കാർബൺ നാനോ ട്യൂബ്സ് കുഡ് ട്രാൻസ്മിറ്റ് പവർ of 6000 watts per meter. When we compare it with copper, it is only 385 watts per meter per Kelvin. Then the temperature stability, that also is higher for carbon nanotubes. The temperature stability of carbon nanotubes are also very high. It is 2800 degrees Celsius in vacuum and about 750 degrees Celsius in air. That is about the thermal properties. Then is about the electrical properties. Carbon nanotubes exhibit both metallic and semiconducting behavior. This behavior is based on the structure of the carbon nanotubes. If carbon nanotube is of armchair structure, then the electrical properties are metallic. Then, if the carbon nanotubes are chiral, then the properties might be purely or partially semiconducting. അപ്പം കാർബൺ നാനോട്യൂബ് ആംചെയർ സ്ട്രക്ചർ ആണെങ്കിൽ മെറ്റാലിക്കും കാർബൺ നാനോട്യൂബ് കൈറാൽ ആണെങ്കിൽ പ്യോർലി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പാർഷ്യലി സെമി കണ്ടക്റ്റിങ്ങും ആയിരിക്കും അതിൻ്റെ ഇലക്ട്രിക്കൽ പ്രോപ്പർട്ടീസ്. ദെൻ ഇൻ തിയറി ദ മെറ്റാലിക് നാനോട്യൂബ്സ് can carry electrical current density of 4 into 10 raised to 9 ampere per centimeter square, which is more than 1000 times greater than the materials like copper. അപ്പോൾ കോപ്പറിനെയൊക്കെ വെച്ച് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ കോപ്പർ ഇസ് നോൺ ഫോർ ഇറ്റ്സ് ഇലക്ട്രിക്കൽ പ്രോപ്പർട്ടി. കോപ്പറിനെ വെച്ച് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ വി കൻ സേ ദാറ്റ് കാർബൺ നാനോട്യൂബ്സ് ക്യാൻ ക്യാരി ആൻ ഇലക്ട്രിക്കൽ കറണ്ട് ഡെൻസിറ്റി ഓഫ് 4 into 10 raised to 9 ampere per meter square, and that is 1000 times greater than the materials like copper. Then we have the magnetic property. There is no bulk magnetism in clean single-walled carbon nanotubes and multiple carbon nanotubes, but അതിൻ്റെ കൂടെ നമ്മൾ മെറ്റീരിയൽസ് നമ്മൾ ആഡ് ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ it can exhibit magnetic properties. Magnetic properties will be displayed by carbon nanotubes when placed on certain metals like cobalt. Then we have the superconducting property. Superconducting properties of carbon nanotubes was first observed in 1999, but no claims have been made for bulk superconductivity. ഇപ്പോൾ ഈ ഏരിയയിലൊക്കെ ഒരുപാട് റിസർച്ച് നടക്കുന്ന ഏരിയയാണ്. ഇപ്പോൾ സൂപ്പർ കണ്ടക്ടിവിറ്റി ആസ് ബൾക്കായിട്ട് ഡിസ്കവർ ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല കാർബൺ നാനോട്യൂബ്സിൽ, പക്ഷേ സൂപ്പർ കണ്ടക്ടിവിറ്റി പ്രോപ്പർട്ടി ഫസ്റ്റ് നമ്മൾ ഒബ്സർവ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട് 1999. Then we will move on to the potential uses of carbon nanotubes. So far we have discussed the properties of carbon nanotubes. Now ഈ കാർബൺ നാനോട്യൂബ്സ് നമുക്ക് എവിടെയൊക്കെയാണ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുക എന്നുള്ളതും കൂടി നമുക്ക് നോക്കാം. Main use is in the domain of nanoelectronics. Why? Because of its optical, electrical and mechanical properties. നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട് അതിൻ്റെ മെയിൻ യൂസ് വരുന്നത് എവിടെയാണ്? നാനോ ഇലക്ട്രോണിക്സിലാണ്. Then the second point is they can be used as nano electrodes and fuel cells. Third one, used as supercapacitors. Supercapacitors can store a large amount of energy. Then they are used in sensors, used for drug delivery. Then multi-volt carbon nanotubes are used in batteries and solar power plants to store energy. Then carbon nanotubes are used as replacement for conventional lithium battery anodes. ഇതൊക്കെയാണ് മെയിൻ പൊട്ടൻഷ്യൽ യൂസസ് ഓഫ് കാർബൺ നാനോട്യൂബ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. വേറൊരു ഏരിയ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് 3D പ്രിൻറ്റിംഗ് ആണ്. കാർബൺ നാനോട്യൂബ്സിൻ്റെ മെയിൻ യൂസ് വരുന്ന ഒരു ഏരിയയാണ് 3D പ്രിൻറ്റിംഗ്. സോ ദീസ് ആർ ദി മെയിൻ പൊട്ടൻഷ്യൽ യൂസസ് ഓഫ് കാർബൺ നാനോട്യൂബ്സ്. Other than these, there are many other uses. Carbon nanotubes can be used in power, efficient long distance power transmissions. Then they can be used in aircraft technology, then in memory devices, in chips, etc. Then in the field of defense, we can use it in bulletproof jackets, etc. Then we have nanofibers, which are made up of carbon nanotubes, and so on. So here in this picture, you can see a nanosensor and a flexible fluid cell display, which make use of carbon nanotubes. Then we have the picture of a nano iPod. Then another area where we use the carbon nanotube is the CNT FETs, that is carbon nanotube based field effect transistors. Carbon nanotube based FET devices are getting more and more important today because of their high channel mobility and improved capacitance. Here in these devices, like FET, we have 3 terminals and we use the channel as CNT. carbon nanotubes, that is CNT. So in this picture you can see the source, gate and drain terminals. The channels are made up of carbon nanotubes. So when we make the channels using carbon nanotubes, we have mainly three advantages. They are lower power consumption, the second one is higher current density, and the third one is faster operation speed. So far we have discussed about the advantages of carbon nanotubes. We know that carbon nanotubes are highly electrically conductive and they have the ability to be cost-effective replacement for metal wires. Also, we know about their high tensile strength, the durability, thermal conductivity, and about their lightweight properties when compared to other known conventional materials. In future, we can use carbon nanotubes as replacement for the known stronger materials like steel, Kevlar, etc. Even though these carbon nanotubes has many advantages, there are some disadvantages too. The main disadvantage is that the researches at these nano levels are rather complex. Despite all the research, scientists still don't understand exactly how they work. It is because in the nano level we know the size is extremely small. So extremely small size means it is difficult to work with it. Then currently the process is really expensive to produce the nanotubes. Also, the technology to implement the carbon nanotubes into our latest new technologies is also very expensive. So these are the main disadvantages of carbon nanotubes. So in future, if we can provide good funding to research works in these fields of carbon nanotubes, etc., we can improve the properties of carbon nanotubes and we can produce high quality carbon nanotubes. So that's all about carbon nanotubes. In this video, we discussed about nanotechnology, then we went through nanoelectronics, and at last we told about carbon nanotubes. That's all about the video. Thank you.